Hey everybody, welcome to the Not There Yet podcast. My name is Phillip, one of the hosts. This is a space where we have real conversations about life, faith, and the messy middle we all find ourselves in. We're learning, laughing, and growing together because not any one of us has arrived, and that's exactly the point, because we are not there yet. So thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy the episode today. Thanks a lot.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Not There Yet podcast.
Howdy, y'all.
This is episode number 4.
Numero cuatro.
That was very good Texan Spanish.
Why, thank you.
Spanglish.
Yeah, pretty excited about this one.
Yeah. All right, so today we have dinner cooking while we're podcasting.
Domesticating.
It's like, I think we can do this all at the same time. So we're going to test this out and see how it goes. Okay, so today's podcast topic is, I've kind of like my working title is Equity in Marriage. Is it 50-50?
50-50.
You're having fun with that now.
I am having fun with it.
Yeah. Well, and also you have nothing more to add because you don't know what we're really talking about today.
You're right. I have zero show notes, no preparatory. I just know the concept and I'm going to contribute whenever requested.
I'll be floating questions and concepts and surprising you with it along the way today.
Yeah, that's great. This is one of those episodes. It's like, maybe it should be a good idea for us to do video at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Not today.
Not today.
But like seeing the surprise, like, we're asking that question.
Got back from the gym a little while ago. Right. I don't need to be on video.
You look great. Smell a little different.
Yeah, smell a little.
But okay. That's the smell of hard work.
It is. Something.
We're getting ready for a Spartan.
Did we already talk about that? That we ran.
I think we mentioned it.
I don't remember. Okay,
Maybe
so
we didn't.
It's been like a week and a half. A week and 2 days.
No.
Yeah.
It's today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A week and 2 days.
So 9 days ago.
Yeah.
We both ran our first Spartan race.
We did.
The Dallas Spartan race, October 2025.
Yep.
We were coerced by my family.
Oh, God. Yeah, we did.
But I'm glad we did.
Yeah. So here, can I explain how it played out?
Please.
Okay. So there's this whole like group of the family that are like, hey, let's go do something fun. Let's do the Spartan race. Everybody wants to do it because I know our friends coming into town from out of state, and we're like, oh, cool. Yeah, good for y'all.
We'll come watch. We'll cheer you on.
I don't want to spend money to do that. That'd be great. We'll come be the bench warmers.
Pay to suffer? Why would I do that?
Bench warmer by choice was the actual designation for those who watched and didn't participate. So we get in there, and then your brother and his wife came over, and your brother has this magical influence over our older son, who is 16.
16, so.
And right about the right age. Anyway, so he goes, you should do it. And Ty was like, I'm so interested in that.
Ty has his big boy dollars and immediately jumped online and purchased his ticket. And I was like.
Didn't even think. And so I'm sitting there.
He knew we were going to go watch.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't let him do it and me not do it. He cannot have that over me.
Shown up by our 16-year-old. I mean, he still showed us up because apparently the boy has endurance like I don't know.
I think he worked out a total of 4 times.
Yeah, we're going to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm good.
And we're like, okay, we'll see. And so to be fair, at the end of the Spartan race the next day, I was feeling all right. Like, it felt like I'd had a heavy day at the gym. Now, I will say this. I did not run much. There was a mix-up on the trail. Long story.
It was kind of a hot mess.
It wasn't great. There was a lightning delay.
Of like 3 hours before we could even start our race time.
So I was somewhat sore, but my poor, dear, sweet wife here looked like a banana with all the bruising and all the hurts.
Yeah. Well, let's back up for a second and
this
just note.
This is way more funner.
No. This is... Oh, well... It's the same topic.
Okay.
So what you said, you kind of like glossed right over this, that there was a mix up. So there was the lightning delay, but also there were sign trail markers that had been knocked over in the river, and we got off track.
Yes, but I still think that they did not mark the course like they're supposed to have. I understand. I don't know. This is my first one, so obviously I'm an expert, but like I understand that each of the different courses has a different color tape because they're all, but all of them
had the same color.
We're talking like the 5K, which is the sprint, which is the one we signed up for, and then the super, which is a 10K, and the beast, which is a 21K, and then the ultra, which is for crazy people, that is a 50K.
And we ended up on
That's
the
a
Beast
doggone-
Trail
that's
because
more than a
of
marathon.
the mix-up.
Yeah. So
And we were a few miles into it when all of the group that was with us, which was a large group because they had to because of the rain delay, they had to let everybody go through at once.
Yeah, over 100 people. And
we had to turn around and go back.
If you know anything about The Walking Dead, they have what they call the herds, which is like just the
That's kind of how it felt walking back.
We were straight up herding.
Because nobody was running.
Herding.
Nobody knew where they were going.
Yeah, and there was a dude with his JBL portable speaker. I called him Frat Boy Chad.
Yeah.
And like he was running around playing music. It was a really fun vibe. Like everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, they were having fun.
We were tired.
I was not having fun at that very moment, though. I was really annoyed. I was like, I hate this. Why did we do this?
Yeah, but the whole thing was really good. And so, I did mention that one of the guys at church called me out on doing the one. He was going to hold my purse while he does the Beast.
Okay.
And
I remember you saying that now.
So what we're doing is we're preparing for possibly some of us are going to do the trifecta, which is the sprint, super, and Beast. Mm-hmm. Some of us may do.
We'll split it over 2 weekends, though. Yeah. Like we'll do a location where we have a friend who lives.
Not the same weekend.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So, and you're right. I am bruised up. I don't remember if we said that before. My bruises are healing, but I do have banana legs.
I felt so bad. Like Sunday wasn't so bad. You were sore on Sunday. Like you were hurting on Sunday.
I was. Yeah.
And then like the bruises start showing up Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, and I was like, what happened? And then like you were like. I
think there was a wall that I was trying to like get over, and I got
it's like
hung
a 12 by 12 post.
It looks like a giant sawhorse to me. That's what it. Yeah. In my brain, that's what I thought of.
But it's like rounded
6 or 7 feet off the ground. The top.
No, not that one. You talking about the one that rollover one, or are you talking about the wall?
Talking about the
rollover one. It was like chest high, so like it was just difficult enough where you couldn't just flop a leg over. You had to put some hops into it. That's the one that I tried to push you, and I pushed you the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the one. I thought it was taller.
No.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
There was a hole.
We're Jim. We're gross.
Recovering, smelling great, and
we're gonna jump into this episode now.
Yeah, we are. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Today we have to do this day on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't even looked at my Facebook memories.
I was scouting because I'm just that kind of guy. I was scouting, and I didn't even have to look, but like.
Okay, well, share yours while I find mine.
Listen, okay.
If it's baseball related.
It is baseball related.
Gosh.
Stop. This is like every little boy that is a Rangers fan. I was on a stinking airplane.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so October 27th, 2023, I was on an airplane on my way to Nigeria, and I'm listening to the baseball game with the free Wi-Fi that I had, and I hear El Bombi, which is Adolis Garcia, walk-off home run, game 1, win the game, right? So I'm on, a 30-second delay. Steph's texting me, and, oh my goodness. And I see this, and it happens, and like this is game 1 of the World Series 2023. I was very excited, and I was on a plane full of people that maybe 2 or 3 would have understood the elation that I had. And yes, I am sharing that today because it was a significant experience and milestone for me as a Texas Rangers baseball fan. Thank you very much. Your turn.
Well, I knew it was going to be. Do
you want me to look
baseball related?
This was also the night that Corey Seager hit a ginormous home run to right field, and like he ended up being the MVP of the World Series in 2023. But his face when he hit that home run is one of those things that like they play the replay of that with just the crowd sound and the Moneyball soundtrack on it, because like his face was just insane. Like the emotion on Corey Seager's face was wild. He never shows any emotion, but on that home run, like that was huge. Rangers were down. I wasn't listening to the game yet. I was trying to get there. Anyway, are you ready?
I am.
I'm trying to kill some time till you get your stuff up.
Yeah, I noticed. Okay. So 16 years ago, this is a very profound Facebook post. Are you ready?
My goodness, I am excited.
This was back when Facebook status updates were like they started off with Steph is or Stephanie blah blah blah. Like it just gives you like a blank and you fill in the blank kind of thing. I mean, 16 years ago, so 2009.
Yeah.
This is very profound. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Does not enjoy stress.
Oh. ... Really?
It's shocking.
I
needed all of Facebook to know that I does not enjoy stress.
Listen, I
16
does not
years
enjoy
ago.
Listen, there's a reason I haven't read from 16 years ago.
Well,
and stuff.
I don't know. It's kind of amusing.
Some things I'm like,
who are we?
I'm like, what was happening that I said this on
same.
Facebook?
Yeah, that's my exciting post for the day.
That's awesome. Okay, sorry. I saw that earlier and I was like, oh, I need to, let's do that. So there will probably one in another few days.
With more baseball.
Yeah.
That's great. That was a fun year for baseball.
It's an incredible year for baseball.
Incredible. Okay, so I'm smelling dinner, so I'm going to jump into the
content.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You ready?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so equity in marriage. Is it 50-50?
Okay.
Let's first talk about this.
Okay, so let me hang on.
Equity versus equality.
Hang on. 50-50. This is going to have to be me talking less. Is that what we're going with this?
Because I've been smile more.
Okay, anyway. All right. 50-50 equity versus equality. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. What do you think? Is there a difference? This is a quiz for
that's a loaded
grade.
Oh no.
Just kidding.
Y'all check up on me in a few days. I think there is a difference. Because equality means you're dividing up what responsibility, just for a layman's term. Equality is who carries what, but equity is how much you're investing in it. Like how much am I putting into this? Am I giving the same amount or more than that person is, or am I giving less? In this context of marriage, equality would be I do the chores on Tuesday, I do the chores on Thursday, and you do the chores on Monday and Wednesday, and the boys whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a divvying up of things versus an investment.
Okay, so here's what here's my note.
Okay,
you ready? So I think you're on the right track.
Oh,
yeah,
so
you're looking at me with a very
about this?
dubious. You can or can't be?
I'm asking. I can be wrong about this?
I don't know, but for the direction of this conversation, here's where it is.
It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Right. I swear.
Okay.
That's what I want you to think.
Heard that one before too.
Okay, so here in general terms.
Okay.
Equality says each person gets the same.
Okay.
If I'm dividing a chocolate bar between our kids or our boys, it's half and half, right?
Yeah.
Equity says each person gets what they need to succeed. So, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but equality would be about like fair or same treatment. You get this, I get that, tit for tat kind of thing, right? Equity is fair outcome.
Okay.
Does that make sense in the context of what we're talking about?
God, so we approach things from such different angles.
We do. Our brains are wired very differently, but that's okay.
Mine's like a bird nest.
That's not true.
Okay.
But no, I think it's good because you challenge me in my way of thinking, and I hope that I challenge you in good ways and not make you nervous about grades and such.
Well, I challenge you, but you're always right, so it's okay.
Wow. Suck up? What?
Like genuinely though, like the challenge is part of what makes this marriage work.
Well, I mean, we complement each other. I mean, it's like puzzle pieces, right? That is a compliment. This was compliment with an E, not an I, but there we go. Okay, so is marriage 50-50? I don't think so.
Okay. Can I play the devil's advocate just even though I don't know that I think that?
Sure. Okay. So, I didn't know this was a debate, but
no, it's not a debate because we can't always agree on everything because this podcast would be so stinking boring if I was like, yeah, I agree with you all the way. I think that the way a lot of people look at marriage is that I do this, you do that, and that's the equality that we have. And that's the 50-50. And I think that that's been a generational mindset for a long time. I don't agree with it. But like I do think
you're a man, so you have this role, and I'm a woman, so I have this role, and together that makes a complete marriage.
Yeah. Well, if it was my job as the man is to go out and win the bread, be the breadwinner, then
you've done your job,
and
I've
done my job.
You come home and you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah, I can come home and you can keep dealing with the kids, you can keep cooking dinner, and I can just sit on the couch and throw my feet up on the coffee table, which would be gross anyway. But like, I think there's some fundamental issue with that. I agree. This is like, Gen X boomer generations, that was kind of what was portrayed on TV. That was what, and I wasn't around back then.
There's a new trend though, the trad wife.
Oh yeah.
Trend.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it if both parties agree to it, but if it's just an expectation and there's no clear communication on where each person is skilled and gifted and where they thrive and how they can complement with working with one another, then I think that it can be problematic.
I 100% agree with that. And that was like our first few years being married, like we didn't have like this major, like I'm going to do this and you're going to do this. And this is my responsibility. This is yours. And I don't really know that we thought that way either.
But I think we did have some preconceived notions about the roles that we would have initially. And we didn't talk about it much.
No, we didn't.
We just kind of did.
Yeah. And that's where like the first 5 years of marriage were like,
They were hard because neither of us was looking at each other going, well, you're really gifted here or you're stronger here. Yeah. So naturally, why don't you take this and then I can take this piece where I'm also capable.
Yeah. And that's where like, ooh, okay, keep going.
Okay. So I've heard Brene Brown say this.
Yeah.
That marriage is not 50-50, but together it's always 100, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't have like an exact quote. She's got a video out there. You could go look it up. It's really good. It does have a bad word in it, warning. But well, today I can step up and take 60 because that's what we do. We together make 100. Now I would say this. It goes back and I don't think we talk like that. I don't go, I'm at 40% today.
No, but
some people may, but
I think we both have been, because we've been married for 20 years, like we can get a read on each other pretty good. Now, earlier on in that first 5 years of marriage, like we would have probably had to use that verbiage. And I actually think that Chris, the guy who
did our premarital counseling,
did a great job with us, but he did make sure he one of the things he encouraged us to do is like have a status check or something like that, relationship,
like a check-in. Yeah.
We didn't actually do that, but
I think we do in our own way.
Yeah. It wasn't an official like let's sit down and talk about how the day is going. But like now, 20 years in, we don't use those words, but we can kind of sense where the other one's at.
But we might say it in a different way too. Like there are days, let's just be real. There are 2 to 3 days out of every month that I'm kind of laid out a little bit and it's just not pleasant and I just can't do what I normally can do.
Yeah.
And those are the days I'm like, I cannot cook dinner tonight. I can hardly stand up, whatever. And you are so good to say, I've got it tonight or whatever. But I think we verbalize it and things like that, like, hey, I'm really struggling today, or I don't feel well today, or I'm just not feeling myself today, or maybe there's some struggle or conflict or and so I think we do communicate it in our own way, and we have learned to pick up the slack for one another. And some days, like if we're both having a hard day, some days it looks like Torchy's picking up dinner for us. Like we pick that up instead of one of us cooking. Like we're both like, I'm at 40, you're at 40. If we were talking like that, we'd be like the 20% makeup is dinner that neither of us have in us at the end of the day. So we have space in our budget for eating out, and that sometimes comes up, and we just do that. And
the fortunate thing is we don't find ourselves in that space often. It's very sporadic when it does happen, but there's definitely days where we're just like, I can't.
Yeah. So I think the main crux of it is, it may not be 50-50 every day, but somehow we're making up that 100% together as a couple. I don't have to carry 100. You don't have to carry 100. Yeah. Together, we're making that up.
Yeah, you, me, and Torchy sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
And actually, honestly, the kids are actually really good about helping out. Like if we need, hey, can you handle this for me? Can you take care of that for me? Yeah. And they're pretty good at helping carry. Now, we don't frame it like mom and dad can't handle it today, so you're going to have to do your part. But it is engaging them
But they already have some chores that they know that we could ask them for additional help if needed, because we're all part of a household, and we have a household that operates for all of the people who live here, and we all have to pitch in, and that looks different from day to day. And
for being 16 and 14, they're actually really good teammates in what we're working on. And so, I think they've at least got up to my level of helpfulness. So that's good.
All right. So that kind of sets the baseline, I think, for what we're talking about a little bit. There's content there too, but some areas that I was thinking of, these are areas that we are mindful of and really try to not be inequitable. Like these are areas that we're like, we're really focused on not being unfair with one another. Yeah. And so I have a couple of things, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that too.
Okay.
I would say the first is the way we talk about one another.
Oh, yeah.
So in each other's presence, but even, not more so, but also apart from one another. Yeah. Like I'm not going to go to like my mom or my sister or friend and just rag on you because you don't deserve that.
Well, Now I do give you plenty of content, but you don't, and that's very much appreciative. I very much appreciate that, because I know that you don't go do that. Now I don't do a very good job of speaking about myself.
I was about to say, stop talking down about yourself.
Self-deprecation.
This is a thing.
It's a hardwired thing, and I try to be more mindful of it.
Yeah, but you don't give me a lot of content. You are a great partner. You are a great teammate, and I try to build you up. When we were in youth ministry, here's an example. It was because people at the churches where we served frequently only saw you in the context of being youth pastor. So you were fun and silly because that's what you needed to be for those kids. I mean, you're hanging around with 12-year-olds, and it was like, well, I'm getting on their level. We're having fun, connecting, but you could bring it in when it came time for Bible study. But most people just saw silly, fun Philip. And frequently I would get comments to me like, oh, I bet you feel like you have 4 kids at home. And it drove me crazy. And I would so often say, no, actually, he's a great teammate and he's a great partner. And I know that you would have said the same thing for me if the roles were switched.
For sure.
And you do compliment me to other people, and I compliment you to other people. Like, that goes both ways. Yeah. I'm not going to talk bad about you to other people. There are moments if we're out with people and we're joking or whatever. It's, silly.
It's
but
different.
I'm
it's
not
very
taking any issue we have or any conflict.
No.
And I'm definitely not like, I've heard women who just put their husbands down all the time or can't wait to get away from them. And I couldn't imagine doing that to you.
Yeah, well, and the same thing for guys. Like there are some men sometimes, it's been a while, but there's some men that sometimes will just complain about their wives. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a very fun marriage.
Well, and I know that if I heard that you were doing that about me when I wasn't around, it would wound me to my core.
Well, and I wouldn't feel good about it. Like even making jokes. Like, okay, so while we were running Spartan, there was a guy, I was bending down, stretching out my back a little bit after the sandbag carry, which was stupid, but it was fun. We'll do it again. But he goes, come on, man, you got it, keep going. And everybody there was really encouraging. I was like, I'm good, man, I'm just waiting on my wifey. But like, that was and it wasn't because you were taking a long time, we just got a little bit ahead of you. And I was like, oh, that feels kind of like, am I talking down about it?
And see, that's not even you talking down about me, but
the I think the point remains too, like, we want to make sure that people see one another, like you and me, we want to make sure that other people see the other one for how we see them.
Yeah.
Right. And I want people to know, like, I'm just crazy about you. Like, always am. Always have been. Even when I'm annoyed with you, which is like once every couple of weeks or 9, 10 weeks, whatever. It doesn't happen often. But even then, I'm still kind of, don't do that, please.
I'm just kidding.
Love keeps no record of wrongs. But like, I'm crazy about you all the time. And it doesn't matter what's happening and stuff back home. Like, people are going to know about it. Because you and I do tend to resolve things.
Yeah, and I don't want, like, I would not, especially like thinking about like my friends or my family, like I would never want them to have a wrong view of you because of one incident.
Yeah, for sure.
And then see you through that lens for some time after that. And when we've resolved and moved on, I would never want that to happen.
Same.
So the next one I thought about was the way we talk about other men or women in each other's presence or out of each other's presence. Like, I think about here's the deal. I'm not slamming people, but for you and I think that for most men, if they're checking out other women and they're verbally talking about it or, ribbing their buddies about it or whatever, most women would be like, oh, they're so gross. I can't believe they're doing that. Yeah. But for some reason, it tends to be more widely accepted for women to do it. And it's just like, oh, they're just being funny or they're just checking them out or whatever. But I'm like, I don't ever want you to feel insecure.
Yeah.
And because if that was a regular occurrence with you, I would certainly feel more insecure. And so the equitable side is like, well, I would not want that done to me and with your around me or not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that to you. Like what's fair is fair, right?
Right. So it makes me super uncomfortable when especially when married dudes are like, oh, she's hot. I'm like, yeah, okay, like you can think that, but maybe you should just keep that inside your head.
Yeah.
And let it die there. And for me, like there are attractive women, right? It would be
no way.
I know it's sorry to let you know that you're not the only beautiful woman alive, but But it's the same, like, for me, I feel so uncomfortable being like, hey, man, look at her. Isn't she hot? Like, that just feels gross. Because,
well, it's moving beyond noticing to
yes.
lusting and calling attention to.
Yes. It's an objectification.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that just feels like when people are not objects. Like, stop treating them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I get fired up about that. And like, good dudes, like dudes that I know they're playing around, but I'm like, man, you're starting to push a line that I'm not okay with, and I'm not going to participate in that. When they say, "Oh, look at her," I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And usually because I give them that look, y'all can't see the look.
Y'all can't see the look on his face. The okay is a kind of a derpy, like snarky, like okay, you go ahead, you're being dumb.
You're an idiot. Stop.
You're an idiot look. Yeah.
Yeah. If your wife was here,
he's not actually saying okay. I'm gonna look.
No, this is an okay. Like my face is just anyway.
Yeah.
I can't anyway. Yeah. There's that. And you're right. And that's the whole thing for me too, as you mentioned a minute ago, it seems like, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but it seems like in our culture, especially, it's funny for women to make comments about men, married women to make comments about dudes, right? Like sexually, like gross comments, or even just being funny, but like, if a dude makes a comment, like you said, that is not equitable. That is frustrating, which is also why I'm so careful about that too. Like, not only do I not want to make comments, I don't want to be perceived or overheard making a joke, because in student ministry for so long, there were so many guys that were in student ministry that just made a stupid off the cuff joke or an offhanded joke that they really didn't think about it. But people, they started whole rumors about dudes. And I'm like, I'm going to be over the top, non-commenting on anything ever. Yeah. I will never make a comment, especially about a student or a parent or anything like that, because dudes were doing that and they were being stupid, and it's
getting people in trouble.
Some of those guys got in some serious issue, and I'm like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. And still to this day, I'm like, ugh. It just feels like today at the gym, like there was a stair machine that had a lady working out. She's always there all the time, and she's older than us, very nice lady, I'm sure. But there was a stair machine open to her left, and I was like, I'm not getting on that one. Like, I don't want to make her uncomfortable.
Right past it. I was like, well, I guess I'm getting on.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not getting this one over here. Is over here by the trash can. Give me the one by the trash can. You can go hang out by the lady. I don't want to be that.
You
dude.
are very cautious, and yeah, I appreciate that. But I think
more paranoid than anything else.
Yeah, well, maybe, especially at the gym. I mean, you just never know. But
and our gym's actually really good. Most of the folks there aren't like the caricatures you see online.
It's not like look at me lifting all the heavy weights, Jim.
Or the women setting up with
community center, Jim.
And they're really nice. Like, most of the people there that I've interacted with are super kind.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
And they're not. Anyway, it's not the caricature that you see.
It's a safe space.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Well, so I think those two, the way we talk about each other and the way we talk about other people, really comes down to, I don't want to hold you to a standard that I myself am not willing to uphold. Yeah. And I think you would say the same.
Yeah. Like, here's the deal too. I think it's actually kind of funny when you kind of see a guy that's a good looking dude, and you're like, oh. And I'm not. I
don't say that.
I know, but like with your eyes, like you catch a look. I see you kind of look, and I'm like, oh, she thinks he's good looking, and it doesn't bother me. I'm not threatened by it. I think it's kind of funny and kind of cute, because then you're like, oh, I'm still married to this guy,
whom I think is good looking,
who I love, and he's the okayest looking husband. But like,
so not true. You are more than okay.
But the point remains, like, I'm not threatened by you finding another dude attractive. Like, it doesn't bother me. Because I know you're mine. You're my wife. You are the one that I love, and you love me back. And like, I feel completely secure in our marriage. Like, it makes me giggle a little bit, because you're kind of. We joked about Twisters.
We did joke.
Glenn Powell was in the movie
together. You and I.
Oh yeah, you and I together. We're joking because we're going to go see the movie for the plot, and it's this reel that showed Glenn Powell with like his shirt off and a cowboy hat and all this other stuff in the movie.
Jeans.
And they had him labeled as the plot.
Funny. It was just it was a funny reel. And
it was funny.
It was a long-lived joke between us.
Yes, and I still giggle about it because I'm like, oh, the plot. Okay, and I'm trying to like get in the plot as being part of the plot, but. Anyway.
You are the plot. You are the main storyline of my life. Are you calling me a
piece of dirt? A plot of land? You own me?
Maybe.
That you do. I am yours.
You have a ring on your finger that says
I do. So. It does. And it says I love you on the inside, and my finger hasn't even worn it off yet.
Aw, 20 years later.
Aw.
It does.
I still love this thing. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, squirrel.
Okay, so I'm going to like rattle off a list of some other things that I think that we share pretty evenly.
Yeah.
And I think these are things that we have, it has shifted over the years from time to time. But I think that it doesn't look the same now as it did 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 30-70. It depends on a season. But
this could be fun because I have no idea what your list says. I can't see your computer screen.
I know, it's great. I like the element of surprise for this one.
I do
it's
like
so
not
fun.
being in control.
Okay, so the first one is chores.
Oh,
like
that's
just
easy.
general household chores.
Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, who does more cooking?
Oh, you, no question.
Yeah. And this is because
even when you're gone, you do more cooking than I do. I'm
well,
like,
the last time I was
sandwiches.
gone and you made something, the kids were like, Mom, please do not let him attempt that dish ever again. Because you were trying to recreate my pasta dish.
Oh, gosh.
And you didn't have what you needed.
Oh,
and
no. I had to borrow heavy whipping cream from our neighbor, and it was too late.
She brought you cream cheese, which I don't use cream cheese in mine.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I don't use cream cheese in it.
She said it would work just the same.
And how did it work?
It worked okay.
It
was edible. It wasn't even
I'm
close to as good as yours. And the kids were right. They were 100%
Well, it was just
right.
you and the boys, right? So there's probably a lot
so.
less care than if our daughter was here. If our
She
daughter would have been
driven to go
here,
get the stuff.
she would have gone to get it, or she
Yeah.
would have come in the kitchen and said, "Let me fix this
She'd be like,
for
"Get
you.
out, just get out of
I'm
here."
going to repair this." But there are things you do cook well, and sometimes I'm like, "Hey, do you want to grill the chicken tonight?" And I'll do the veggies or whatever.
And I'm 42, so it's smoked meat era for me.
It is your smoked meat era, which I benefit from.
Just
it's
saying,
great.
we all benefit from me smoking meat.
But here's the deal too.
Okay, yeah.
I don't just cook because I'm better at it.
Yeah.
I am.
You
Let's
are.
be clear.
And that's not even an arrogant thing for you to say.
No,
That's
it's just a
a
fact.
simple recognition of truth.
But
it's
also
a statement of fact.
But
like
also
from the
I
office.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's part of why
Yeah.
I'm better at it, because I actually enjoy the process of cooking.
Yeah.
And that for me at the end of the day is like a point of decompression. It's kind of a detox time, and I can just
Unless it's me standing there chopping the stuff that you need right away.
Well, you are my favorite sous chef. I'll say
I
that.
am very careful when
You
I
may
cut
not be the
things.
best sous chef, but you are my favorite.
And plus, that time's really fun for me too, because I have no idea not as many times as I've helped you cook the same dishes, I have no idea how to do it.
I know we should start doing cooking classes, you and me.
I mean, we could, but wait, you teaching?
I teach you.
Oh yeah, I'll probably forget. I just do it to watch you cook.
We watch Top Chef. You haven't figured this out yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Every time we cook, it's a quick fire.
So cooking is there have been fires. Not recently.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So okay, so
cooking, yes,
cooking,
you cook
I do
far
cook
more than I do.
But who does more dishes?
Probably me. I mean,
I would say so.
no, the kids are helping pick up the slack in that.
That's true.
However, I do try and keep stuff going as you're cooking, so you're not
Sous
with
chef,
all the stuff
dishwasher.
in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a huge help
Yeah.
because I can focus on the dinner side.
here's
And
the
you don't
deal.
mind it.
I don't. Here's the problem, right? Like everybody makes a joke about, there's one person in marriage who loads the dishwasher like a drunk raccoon, and the other one.
Are you calling me a drunk raccoon?
No, but you load the dishwasher like one.
I do.
You and the
they
kids
get clean.
No, they don't.
Listen,
you know why they get clean? Because I come back and fix it.
Okay, here's the deal, though. This is what's funny about it is we've mentioned this before, and I don't want to harp too much on Enneagram stuff, but I am type A in a lot of ways. I am an Enneagram 1, and there are a lot of things I care deeply about how they're done.
That's true.
The dishwasher, not one of them.
I know.
I don't know why. That does not bug me. I'm just like, is it all in there?
Yeah.
Is it going to close? Are the things going to spin the way they're supposed to spin?
Yeah.
Fine. Turn it on. Go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
You, however...
I come behind you and fix it.
So then he's like, just don't even... I've got the dishes.
Just let me do
You
the
go,
dishes.
go relax.
You can put your feet up.
You've cooked. Okay. So what about... Jumping ahead now, kids with I'm thinking of two primary examples here. Grades, like schoolwork, staying on top of their grades, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, and bedtime.
Okay. So that one is shifted.
Yeah.
So I'll start with bedtime first because bedtime was a team effort 50-50. I would say 50-50 when they were little. And then when they got a little bit older into elementary school and even through the beginnings of middle school age, it was really heavy on you.
Yeah.
Especially Sundays and Wednesdays.
Because you had a lot of evening obligations.
Yeah. Had a lot of other stuff going on throughout the week evenings. And then now, like, you're done cooking, we're done cleaning up, we've watched a couple episodes of whatever sitcom or whatever show we're watching with the kids, and you shoot the deuce after getting everybody a hug, and then it's just, everybody just goes nuts, everybody being all the boys in the room. And so bedtime, that's really an exaggeration of it. But like I really do end up, getting them ready for bed for the most part for the last couple of years.
But they don't need you to get them ready. But
No.
But
keeping on them.
Yeah, making sure they're doing that. But also, I think there was a shift at some point where it went from, Mom, will you tuck me in?
Oh, yeah.
Which was like sweet. And it needed to be like, we needed to keep the energy level low. We needed to keep the lights dim. We needed to do, the bath and the book and all the things. And that shifted over the years to where suddenly boys they didn't want me to tuck them in anymore. They don't do this as much anymore, but there was a season when like their early preteen, I would say maybe years. Yeah. They wanted Dad to do the plop hug, is what they called it.
And that was really, I mean, I think that was more on Levi, but there was definitely some big squeezes, some little bit of wrestling here and there, a lot of tickling.
Yeah.
And then it finished all off with the plop hug. And it was like, the plop hug was Levi laying on his bed, and I'm just all 200 pounds
Our
of fat boy.
sensory seeking child, for the record.
And all 200 pounds of fat boy squished him. And it was great. It was super fun. And it was actually kind of cathartic for me because, like, he and I drive each other crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, like, it didn't hurt him, but it definitely gave him the sensory that he needed. And it gave me the release of, like, I'm messing around with my kid and I get to squish him a little bit. And it was super fun to do that. And so.
And he loved it. And he'd be like, even if I was tucking him in, which I still did in that season, he'd be like, will you ask Dad to come give me a plop hug? And I was like, yes, fine. And now it's shifted to where they stay up about, they have a later bedtime now. Yeah. And nobody in this house has a bedtime routine as long as me, because apparently, like when you have like hair on your head to wash and whatever, face to wash, all of that, it takes longer. So I just kind of go, it used to drive me crazy if y'all were wrestling in the evenings because they were younger and they didn't know when to turn it off and actually go to bed. But that's better now. And so now that physical contact that they crave with you as Dad, you guys get to have that, and I go in the other room and pretend like it's not happening. Yep. And they end up going to bed, and then you make your way in there, and I'm ready for bed, and we can chill for a little while before we go to sleep. So it's perfect.
Super fun.
But that has shifted over the years, so it's not the same.
Yeah, grades. I think grades have. Okay, so homeschool years aside, right? You taught our kids for many years, like all three of them, and they are bright little bulbs, like truly smart kids, and it's because you were able to kind of nurture that and help them with those things. And I just kind of came in and was like, what do I do? And I helped homeschool some. I taught them hammer time for grammar time. That was a great dance time. We had fun with that. But now that it's shifted to
that day,
we're on. No, you videoed it.
Did I?
Yeah, I was like, grammar time. Anyway.
Wow, I don't remember that.
It was,
I believe you, but I don't remember it.
It was awesome. I even did the hammer time dance.
Wow.
It was great.
Okay.
Parachutes, and I didn't have parachute pants on. But anyway, but grades has shifted to me now. Like I'm trying to stay on them with that. That's kind of one of the responsibilities I've taken because I want to make sure that I'm helping them to not do what I did in school. Like I had the know-how, I had the intelligence, I had the glorious lack of desire and follow through. Which is not who I am now. And I think because of those years in school, that's why.
Yeah.
I want to see things through. I want to finish stuff. Back then, I didn't care. I just wanted to have fun. Now I see the effects of that. It kind of stunted some things for me, opportunities and everything. But in the timing that the Lord has for things, I just don't want them to go and learn things the hard way, like retaking a class because they didn't pass it when they should have. Like they're too smart to not pass. And so I'll keep on them on top of that stuff. The difficulty comes when I'm on trips internationally during the school year and you're having to kind of keep up with that. I'll send you a message every now and again. Hey, will you check on this? But I'm happy to do that.
But you've become the default grade parent
because you did
in
it for
recent years.
You did it for so long. Like you were responsible not only for them learning it, but you were responsible for making sure that they retained it. And you did an incredible job with it.
It's really sweet.
I mean it. Like people who are stay-at-home homeschool parents, like, you guys get major respect and major props in my book. Like, I have so much respect for those who did that, and you did it well, even when we were overseas.
It was a fun season. I mean, it wasn't without its challenges, but it was. I don't regret that season with our kids at all.
Yeah, and they're great kids, and they've got such good brains in their heads. I don't know. They didn't. I would be self-deprecating here, but y'all know what I'm thinking. But I'll just say I'll get coverage on that. And my wife is way smarter than me. So.
You are very intelligent. I don't want to hear you say that.
All right. Anyway, next thing.
Okay. So mental load. I think this is something we have grown into equitable division on.
Equitable division. Okay. Tell me what you mean by that.
Is that the right way to say it?
I don't know.
Like, I think we have an appropriately shared mental load now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think
sometimes it's on a sliding scale.
I think it's kind of like other things. Like sometimes it's, 60-40 or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But I think there was a season, and you can disagree with me if you want to, but I think there was a season when I did not clearly communicate how overwhelmed I felt by the mental load. And therefore you did not know what all I was shouldering. Yeah. And there was kind of an invisible work, I guess you could say, that was happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, I needed help, and I needed you to, for example, it would be like a simple question that I'd be like, you can reference the text I sent 5 hours ago. Yeah. Like I did communicate that, Yeah. And that's not the case anymore. But that was just a season where I had to learn to communicate well with you on what I needed. And you had to learn to step towards me and ask the right questions or figure some stuff out.
Yeah. And you're 100% right about that. And that's one of those things in those areas in our marriage that, like, you're not born with the know-how of how to know those things. Mm-hmm. Like you have to figure out a way to communicate that. I mean, people kind of joke all the time. We joke all the time. Well, you can't read my mind. I mean, like, no, and it's probably better that we don't, but that's where 20 years in, like we're able to ask better questions, and I'm learning from you on how to ask good questions, because you do ask good questions. I just don't give very good answers sometimes. And that's where I'm also learning, like, just be direct and be clear. And that is loving and kind.
It is. I have a note here that a quote from Brene Brown. Brene Brown said this, and it's a 3-word quote. One of my favorites. Clear is kind.
Yeah. Well, so you quote that to me all the time, and I'm not bagging on that at all.
Okay, I'm not like badgering you about it, right? Okay,
no,
just checking.
No. It is a reminder, because as a parent, we've got 3 kids, 18, 16, and 14. You would think that this far into parenting, I would figure out a way to communicate to our kids in a good, clear manner. And there are times that those poor children are left wondering, did dad even ask a question or give a direction? and that's one of those times you're like, hey, clear is kind. And I'm like, oh yeah, hey, this is when he's going. And now I've gotten to where I'll ask him, hey, do you want me to be direct, or do you want me to be nice?
Yeah, depending on the situation.
Yeah, and direct doesn't mean mean. Direct just means I'm not gonna sugar anything. Mm-hmm. But you're right, and that's where, like, that mental load has shifted from being. It was on you a lot, and it was because I was kind of aloof. I had some lack of awareness because I was so focused in on making sure that I was. Ooh, this is another conversation for another podcast. But I was so focused on being. In pastoral work, you understand this if you've done it. I was too worried about being everybody else's Holy Spirit to be aware of what was going on in my own house with our kids and with you. And that was a hard part. Is like, I just thought
it was a tough season.
Yeah, I just thought, well, she's just she's having a hard time because the kids are a little wild. No, it was more than that, and I missed it, and I can't go back and regret it now. But I feel like I've learned from that, because you've been very good about being clear and being kind with it, and made it so I can understand where you were at.
But I wasn't always clear, though, and that's the thing too, is I had to learn how to speak up in a kind way, but also a clear way, and not just let something build up and then be like, well, I'm doing all this, and panic ensues and whatever. But to, like, the moment I realized, oh, I'm on the verge of collapse here, or not even the verge of collapse yet, like I could see that a few miles down the road and go like, hey, I really need support here, or I need you to step up. But now you've learned to anticipate things that you didn't know to anticipate before, because we've managed that communication better.
Yeah. And the communication aspect is got to be, golly, like I know that everybody talks about in marriage, communication is just so key. Though. It really, really is. Yeah. The cliches are true. They're cliches for a reason. Yeah. And so, good.
Okay.
Good.
Last one would be like finances, like if one person is the breadwinner or the other, or has a more demanding job, like either of those kinds of things. So job, finances. There have been seasons. Mm-hmm. We have gone back and forth in seasons where one of us has been, it hasn't always been you. I'll say that. Right.
And that was, I'll go ahead and just say it. When we were in ministry, you were the breadwinner, like no question. Like when you were a photographer and you were doing some other things on the side, like you were clearly our breadwinner. The difference is that the kind of expense you were giving was time and energy. Mine was a lot of I say we both went through some really heavy emotional fatigue times. Yeah. In that time, but you have some tangible gifts that I don't have, right? That like if your job that you're in right now currently was to end, you would be able to, because you have gifts and talents, you would be able to find something that would either fill that gap for a time until you had something else, or you would just go into a raging lunatic mode and make it like, this is what my career is now for the rest of eternity. And you would just rock it and kill it.
Raging lunatic mode.
Like in a positive way.
Okay.
If you can think of a raging lunatic in a positive way, that's...
I mean, I'm trying here.
I'm just saying, like, you have business acumen, you have skills, you have an eye, you have the ability to make like the best lemonade out of the grossest lemon. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Me, I'm like, I'll just be a doorstop and help our kids while we figure it out. But
no, you have a lot of gifts too. But I think the most important thing, because I'm going to pull the attention off of me now for a moment, is to say this, that if one of us has a more demanding job or one of us is the breadwinner, I don't think that creates inequity for us, because the outcome is the same, because we have a shared pot of money and we make financial decisions together. Yes. That is not separate. Right, and one of us doesn't suffer because somebody else makes more money than them. Yeah. It only benefits both of us as a unit and for our family. That's right.
Yeah. And Ty and I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago when he and I went hiking. Mm-hmm. He was like, is the man supposed to carry the load on everything? And I was like, that does not, how do you think mom and I do things? And he goes, well, y'all seem to do things pretty equally. And I was like, yeah, and that's on purpose. Mm-hmm. Because it shouldn't be 100% solely on one person, or even 70% on one person all the time. That's not how this relationship works. That's not how our marriage works. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm with, like, finances, like, okay, so this is me telling me a little bit. You are very patient with me when it comes to budgeting. I need to spend more time helping with that than I do, but you've been very kind to remind me in those moments of like, hey, I need some help with this. Right now, we'll make a budget and we don't always stick with it. We're working on that too. But the finance side of things is it's us having that communication together. Hey, we need to get better on this. These are the goals that we have. This is not me saying you need to do this, and it's not you saying you need to do this. It's us saying we need to do this. This is what we want to do. This is how we're going to get there. So we just got to keep each other on the road, right? And that's where that equity comes in, is we both have a shared goal and dream for our kids, for our family, for you and me, and the things that we want to help be a part of and be a support for. And it's not just one of us tugging the other one down the road. It's not that. And yeah, I don't know if that answers that question or that.
No, I think it's good. No, I think that's great. No, I think it's perfect.
I'm really great at chasing squirrels today.
It's great. I like it because you said everything that I was thinking, which is that we're in this together.
I can read your mind.
So, well, I mean,
careful with that.
Yeah, be careful. But we pick up each other's slack. Yeah. We're in this together. Yeah. We're, thinking about the race, Spartan race or whatever, right? Like you were waiting on me at some points and helping me in some others. And that's the way our marriage is. Like we help each other and we wait on each other sometimes, and we try and stay in step with one another as best as we can. Yeah. So, and I think we've already answered my next question was, have some of these things shifted over time? And they have. Oh, yeah. So it's not like what we did on day 1 of marriage or year 5 of marriage had to be the same all the way now to, we're in year 21 now. Oh. We've celebrated 20 years. We've had 20 full years. So we're in our 21st year of marriage. I know. You're feeling old.
Hold on. No, hang on a second. So it feels like, I know we've been married 20 years in year 21, but it feels like so many times it feels like we're just getting started.
Yeah. Because it takes so long, I feel like, to get into rhythms and like feel like you're in unity with each other, like truly. Because the first few years of marriage, you're just getting to know each other. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, we knew each other. It's not like we were like strangers. We weren't like married at first sight.
No, but listen, and I'll say this too, like for the even the first decade, there were still things that I'm finding out, like, you don't like bananas. I'm like, well, what? And you're like, you
and
my
didn't
dad
know that? Both. He still, my parents still offer me bananas.
That's
I have
wild
not
to
liked
me.
Bananas my entire
You're like, bruh,
life.
I'm your child and have been forever. I've
like
never liked them.
2 years ago, my dad was like, something banana. And I was like, I don't like bananas. And he was like, you don't?
That was weird to me.
I'll probably do the same thing to my kids in some way, shape, or form. But it's very funny to me now because I'm like, how do you not? I'm 40 years old. How do you not remember that I don't like bananas?
Another thing too, like the other day, like you were talking about that peanut butter that you bought for us, and I was like, have you had that peanut butter yet? I was like, I don't like peanut butter. I'm not going to eat peanut butter. I was like, do you what?
Well, I mean, I like it in desserts.
Right. So I
don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Side note / life hack. Don't let the person who doesn't eat peanut butter in your house purchase peanut butter for the people who do. It's nasty.
I'm sorry.
Give me all the preservatives and all the sugar.
So here is a new role for you. 100% peanut butter buying power to you, 0% to me.
Thank you.
That's 100-0 split right there.
I can live with that over responsibility.
Okay.
Because I know what's good when it comes to peanut butter, and you, my dear, sweet, multi-talented, multi-gifted wife, do not.
I know good peanut butter when it is encased in chocolate.
That's a fair point, but not when it's on a sandwich.
Tasty. No.
By the way, what they put in chocolate is not what you bought us.
You're right. I think I bought the sugar-free.
You make cardboard creamy and oily, and that's what's in that little jar we threw out yesterday.
We have to move on. We have to go eat dinner.
Okay.
Okay. So I would say, in summation, you ready?
In summation.
And you can add any comments if you'd like to, but I'm going to just summarize my thoughts here on this. I think what we've realized is that it's less about equality and more about empathy for one another.
Oh yeah. Good word.
So more about empathy, less about equality, less you do half, I do half, and more like, I see you and I hear you, and if you need me to step up in this space, I can do that. So we're meeting needs, and we're reaching for successful outcomes for both of us and our whole family. Yeah. It's not a me or a you thing. It's not about being the same. It's not. It's more about, are we sustaining a healthy marriage, a healthy family, and for us individually, are we healthy? Yeah. And is somebody needing one of us to step in a little bit more for sustainability? Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's good. And that's, man, that you're not going to have that marriage awareness on day one. You're not going to have that marriage awareness by the end of year one. Maybe even not by the end of decade one.
No, but you can work towards it.
But you can 100% work toward it.
And I hope that 20 years from now, we look back on today and we go, wow, we didn't know anything about marriage. Because if our marriage is 10 times better in 20 years than it is today, and we think it's good now, I can't wait for that.
Surely it can't have peaked already.
No, I don't think so. I'm not going
to let it peak already.
I can't imagine that it has.
No, because I'm still, I'll just leave it there. Yeah, so I'm glad we had this conversation. As much as I like being in control of stuff, I'm kind of glad I didn't have the notes in front of me.
Okay. Well, maybe the next episode we should flip it, and you have the notes, and I'm just coming in blind.
Okay.
I'm
going to ask you all kinds of sports questions. This is going to be
it's not going to be the quickest trivia.
It's going to be the quickest podcast episode we'll ever do.
D, all of the above. D, all of the above.
Which will be wrong.
Give me a Scantron and I'll just go circle
What
A,
kind
B,
of peanut
C,
butter
D,
is
A,
the
B, C,
best
D.
peanut butter?
Peter Pan.
No, that's what your dad would say.
Jif.
Jif is good.
Okay.
There's other ones.
Choosy moms choose Jif.
Yeah, I'm not a choosy mom.
You're a choosy dad when it comes to peanut butter.
Actually, I'm really not.
You're just a choosy peanut butter consumer.
You just need to not have oily cardboard.
What about the HEB brand?
HEB brand's good. It's like anyway.
Okay.
We'll get off on that conversation
we gotta
for a
move
while.
on.
All the peanut butter. Anyway, so that's all I got, right? I mean.
Yeah. So marriage is not 50-50.
No.
But our combined effort should equal 100 most days.
Yeah.
Unless Torchy's is picking up the 20% at the end of the day.
That's the best 20% Torchy's can do for us.
Torchy's is here to save the day.
It is.
They're not even a sponsor. We should get Torchy's to be a sponsor.
We need to tag them up in this podcast.
I don't think we're there yet.
No.
What? Hey! Oh, look what I did!
Not there yet.
Look at that. Okay, we're gonna go eat dinner now. We're gonna go feed our children.
Yeah.
Who are ever so patiently waiting on us to come.
They're
eat
not starving.
dinner.
They'll be fine.
No,
right.
they'll be fine, but they might knock on the door soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this one. So.
Okay.
All right.
See y'all next time.
Yep. Thank you for listening to the Not There Yet podcast today. We really hope that there's something today that made you pause, reflect, or maybe even rethink the journey you're on. We'd love to hear what resonated with you. Share your thoughts, start a conversation, whether you're commenting on the platform itself or you're listening to the podcast, or reaching out to us via email at, and remember this is all one word, thenotthereYetpodcast@gmail.com. So just remember, it's okay to still be figuring things out. We'd love to have a dialogue with you. Thanks for listening. Till next time.